How's everyone doing this evening? Oh, you guys are going to have to sound off a little bit better than that. Come on, how's everyone doing this evening? All right, everyone recognizes at least one of these gentlemen, right? Maybe Montel, Shaggy, Drew Carey? Yeah? Speed? Nancy, come on guys. You recognize one of them?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Can anyone tell me what the 6 of these guys all have in common?
The Marines.
That's right. At some point in their life, all 6 of these gentlemen served in the world's most elite fighting force, the United States Marine Corps. Now, my name's Brandon, and that's what I'm here to talk about with you guys today. Ever since I was a little kid, I always knew I wanted to be a Marine. I attended military school for a period of time. I've done astronomical amounts of research on this, and I have quite a few friends that are off in Fleet Force right now. So I thought this would be something really cool to talk about with you. Now, I know some of you are sitting there saying, Brandon, I'm not going into the military. Why do I care about the Marines? How many people here have ever had this happen to you? And I know it happens to everyone because I do it myself all the time. You're sitting there, you're having a conversation with someone, and you say something that they don't like, so they tell you to shut up, and you always come back with this, right? You're like, freedom of speech or a free country. Does that ever happen? All the time. I have a big mouth, I love to talk, I do that all the time to people. These are the guys that defend our freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and all the other great things that we enjoy in this country, so that's why it should be important to you. Now, the 4 key things we're going to talk about today is the history of the Marine Corps, where the Marines are at today, the future of the Marine Corps, and veteran appreciation. So we're going to jump into it. Now, the Marine Corps was originally established on November 10, 1775, in a place called Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They were established by the Committee of the Continental Congress to fight at sea and on shore for liberty. And, yeah, it was Philadelphia. Okay. Oftentimes, because they are an amphibious assault force, they do deploy with and are transported by the Navy. So because of this, they're Department of the Navy. The motto of the Marine Corps is Semper Fidelis. It's Latin for always faithful, and it was adopted by the 8th Commandant, Charles Macaulay, in 1868. The emblem of the Marine Corps is the eagle, the globe, and the anchor. Now, the eagle represents the nation, and then the globe and the anchor represent worldwide service and sea traditions. This was adopted by the 7th Commandant, Jacob Zeiling, in 1823. In 1912, the aviation wing for the Marine Corps was established. And this is important because, as you'll see throughout the history of the Marine Corps, diversity is a really big thing. Not only can they now fight at sea and on shore, they can also control the air, and these are the 3 key components to winning a war. Now, November 1st, 1915, Parris Island was established in South Carolina. This was the Marine Corps' first recruiting depot and where boot camp was essentially held for the first Marines of that generation. Shortly thereafter, in 1919, San Diego was established. To this day, these are the only 2 training facilities for enlisted Marines. Now, males who live east of the Mississippi are trained in South Carolina. West of the Mississippi are trained in San Diego. Female recruits, regardless of geographical location, are all trained at Parris Island. This is the drill instructor. These are the guys that make the Marines. Now, they're incredibly intense and very motivated. They basically live at Parris Island in San Diego, and they're with you from your first day all the way through your graduation. Now, for me, I, for a period of time, attended military school that was run by drill instructors. Now, I have an Italian father and a Jewish mother, so there's like a lot of yelling at the dinner table. My mother's like, can't be lost! I'm like, calm down. My mother has nothing on a drill instructor. When they get in your face, it's pretty crazy, so, thumbs up to that. Now, we talked about the history of the Marine Corps, but what are the Marines doing today? Well, everyone knows about Iraq and Afghanistan, where they played key crucial roles in the combat scenarios that have been going on over there, and they've had numerous successful campaigns. Once again, however, showing diversity, in 2010 and 2011, they performed humanitarian relief efforts for the tsunami earthquake in Japan and the Haiti earthquake relief. So it shows that they're more than just the guys that go out and blow stuff up. They can, help people too. This is Loretta Reynolds. Now, WashingtonPost.com had an article written by Craig Whitlock in August of 2011 about her. She's significant to the Marine Corps because, as I said earlier, Parris Island was established in 1915. That's almost 100 years ago. She's the first female base commander for Parris Island, and she took post in 2011. So that really shows progression throughout the history and that women definitely have a place in the Marine Corps. Does anybody recognize him? You might have seen him on the news a couple months ago. Okay? This is Sergeant Dakota Meyer. In 2011, he was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. He's the first living Marine since Vietnam to be awarded the MOH and live to talk about it, so that's pretty significant. But what about the future of the Marine Corps? We know where they've been, we know where they're at today. Well, unfortunately, the future of the Marine Corps is somewhat uncertain right now. Under the current Obama administration, according to an article on JDNnews.com, The government is planning on downsizing the Marine Corps from about 200,000 to 180,000 active. However, we all know in November there's the elections, right? And in my world, Mitt Romney's going to go on to win the general, and the Marine Corps could end up being upgraded, they could get larger, they could stay the same. So we really don't know what's going to happen with that until we get to that point. So now we've talked about the history, where they're at today, and the future. I want to talk to you about something that's really important to me now, and that's our veterans. As you can see here, these are two Marine Corps veterans. They were both blown up by IEDs, and this gentleman had his face severely deformed, and the staff sergeant had both of his legs blown off. Now, interestingly enough, when he was asked if he has any regrets, he said no, none that he can think of. So this really shows you the mentality of the Marines and the fact that, hey, we're going to get through anything, and we're going to be happy about what we did, and that's just it. So, in conclusion, it's important to remember the sacrifices that our servicemen have made for us in the past and continue to make today. As the members of the world's most elite fighting force, the Marines of our generation continue the proud tradition set before them by their predecessors. Now, I try to be a realist, and I know you guys heard 5 other speeches, and when I walk out of here, there's a possibility that you're never going to think about drill instructors or Paris Island or any of that stuff ever again. So if you take nothing else away from this, I really hope it makes you realize what these guys go through for us. You think about them the next time you enjoy your freedom of speech, the next time you invoke your freedom of religion or anything else that you enjoy in this country. You think about the guy that went down to the offices and said, hey, I'm going to put my life on the line to make sure that your freedoms are always secure. Now, as Calvin Coolidge said, the nation which forgets its defenders will be itself forgotten. Thank you.